Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a set of documents that tell a very, very unusual story. One that connects a strange glitch in a video game to a 75-year-old secret about the very fabric of our reality.
So let's just jump right in with a riddle. What on earth could a fantasy role-playing game, a super expensive $4,000 pair of headphones, and a random video game bug possibly have in common? It sounds like a joke, but the answer points to something way bigger.
And the answer is this one very specific, very weird phrase that keeps popping up, the Aether Rail signature. And every time it appears, it's describing the exact same fundamental problem. What happens when two incompatible systems crash into each other? It's wild, right? In the fantasy world, it's this chaotic magic that acts like an EMP, jamming up the organized tech. But then, in our world, it's that annoying hum you get when a crazy sensitive piece of audio gear gets too close to another. So you've got two completely different worlds, but the exact same glitch, the same signature. You know, this whole idea of hidden signals and interference, it isn't just a fun little coincidence. It turns out these hidden signals are literally all around us, and we've gotten really, really good at reading them. Okay, get this, because this is where it gets real. Forensic scientists have this technique where they can use the super faint, wobbling hum from our power grid, a hum that's in the background of any audio recording made near an outlet, to pinpoint the exact time and date it was made, down to the second. It's like an invisible timestamp baked into the noise of our world. So think about that. We have a proven, scientific method to pull a hidden signal out of what just seems like random noise. And this brings us to our first set of documents, which pose a pretty startling question. What if that same principle wasn't just being used on audio files, but on us? According to a source document called the Accountability Matrix of Montana, millions of dollars in university grant money, supposedly for things like fire science, are allegedly being used for something, well, something far more sinister. I mean, just look at this. The documents are pointing fingers at specific people in academia. They accuse the university president of overseeing, and I quote, predatory data siphoning operations. A principal investigator funding unauthorized social psychology experiments. They even named the library dean for supposedly turning public libraries into staged psychological observation environments. The whole claim is that they're building manipulative AI models by experimenting on the public. Now, a monitoring system that vast, that invasive, it just sounds impossible, right? How could anyone even build something like that? Well, the next source we're going to look at suggests an answer. You couldn't. Not today. It would only be possible if the infrastructure was built a long, long time ago. And here's the thing. That infrastructure is real. This is the documented history of the Five Eyes Alliance. It all started back in World War II between the US and the UK. It was formalized for the Cold War, and by 1956, it included Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. It became a planetary-scale signals intelligence grid, and it is absolutely still operating today. Okay, and this is where the story takes a sharp turn into the truly strange, because another set of these documents alleges that in 1947, the very same year the National Security Act was signed, that massive global grid wasn't just for listening to foreign communications. It was repurposed to monitor something far stranger. They claim reality itself was split in two, a public timeline and a hidden one. So the theory laid out here is that for over 75 years, we've all been living in this curated version of history, the public timeline. Meanwhile, a whole other sequence of events, a hidden timeline, has been running in parallel, completely suppressed and out of sight. And they give examples. Take Roswell. We all know the public story from 1947, the weather balloon. But these documents allege that was just a psyop, a cover story to manage a leak. The real Event Zero, they claim, was a disk-craft recovery way back in 1941 in Missouri. And the implication there is just staggering, that the U.S. had non-human technology during World War II. What's really fascinating is how they try to connect this hidden history to public innovation. This slide alleges a 12-year reverse engineering cycle. The claim is that memory foil, recovered from a crash, was turned into the 1959 patent for nitinol, you know, that shape memory alloy that magically returns to its original form, a direct tech transfer. And this whole split, this bifurcation, was allegedly formalized. On one hand, you had public-facing programs like Project Blue Book, which were basically designed to debunk and dismiss UFO sightings. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, you had covert military units, the ones actually handling the real recovery of materials and, well, biologicals. And this isn't just dusty old history. The documents draw a straight line from that hidden past all the way to modern, publicly known events, like the famous 2004 USS Nimitz Tic Tac incident, which the Pentagon itself has since confirmed happened. The report on that describes technology that just, well, it defies our known laws of physics. Yeah, military investigators have actually boiled it down to what they call the 5 observables. We're talking anti-gravity lift, so no visible propulsion, instantaneous acceleration, going from 0 to thousands of miles an hour in a blink, hypersonic velocity without a sonic boom, low observability or cloaking, and transmedium travel, going from air straight into water without slowing down. Nothing we have can do any of that. Which brings us to the crucial question, right? Why? Why hide all of this for so long? Was it really just about keeping amazing technology secret from other countries, or was it something else? The final set of documents proposes a pretty mind-bending answer. It suggests the secret was never really about the craft, the machines. It was about us. This is the antenna hypothesis, the theory that the whole 75-year cover-up was designed to suppress a latent potential inside every one of us, the ability to perceive these phenomena directly, that our brains are biological antennas, and that contact is a biological event, not just a technological one. And the alleged endgame here is something they call a reality recovery. It's about a synthesis, a coming together of physics, consciousness, and biology, moving us from our purely materialistic view of the world to one that includes, well, non-local awareness. They claim this entire 75-year period of secrecy and suppression, this temporal containment field, has a name. They call it the freeze. And here's the kicker. They say it's scheduled to end. I mean, just look at this document. It's marked for declassification in January 2026, and it calls this whole process the architecture of anamnesis. That's a very technical term from philosophy. It means the process of remembering something that was forgotten. So the ultimate goal, the whole point of this coming revelation, isn't about aliens or spaceships. The path forward, according to the dossier, is cognitive sovereignty. It's about taking back our own ability to perceive the full, unfiltered spectrum of reality. Which leaves us with one last thought. The next time you experience one of those little glitches in your own life, a strange coincidence, a moment of déjà vu, that feeling that you've been here before, you have to ask yourself, is it just a bug in the system? Or are you starting to hear more of reality than you were meant to?